faster than any other human being before him.
He started playing at a very young age in the streets and became a star.
For your first Test 100 to be the world record score is quite remarkable.
And after 2 decades and breaking every record in the book, Sir Garfield Sobers set a new standard for every cricketer afterwards.
He was an extraordinary player. So much poise, so much balance, and of course placement.
Sir Garfield Sobers on Sporting Greats, all this month on beIN Sport. The Spanish League is on beIN Sport. Atletico Madrid is showing one of the best forms in recent years. However, they are 11 points behind the leader, Barcelona. True in its convictions, they will host Levante, who needs to return to the path of victory. Atletico Madrid, Levante, Sunday, only on beIN Sport. The Copa del Rey quarterfinals are on beIN Sport. Atletico de Madrid have set their eyes on the cup. But they must first overcome their challenger, Betis, who have proven to be a worthy opponent. Atletico de Madrid, Betis, tomorrow, only on beIN Sport.
Ahí está, se para Beñat, ya tiene a Campbell a la derecha. Ahí está Campbell tocando muchos balones. Campbell, el disparo. ¡Gol, gol, 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 gol! Golazo de Campbell, golazo de Campbell. No golpeó demasiado fuerte y parecía que eso podía ser un centro templadito a la derecha, pero se convirtió en un balón directo a portería. ¡Qué golazo ha metido Campbell en el minuto 30 de la segunda mitad!
Brazil leading Venezuela 1-0 at the half in Group B of the Sudamericano sub-20s. And if they can maintain this scoreline, they could win their first of the tournament, which vastly improves their chances of progressing beyond the group stage. Let's get to the second half. Phil and Ray standing by.
Hi, I'm Zlatan Ibrahimovic from PSG. Watch the French League on beIN Sport. Are you in?
The South American Under-20 continues on beIN Sport. In the Group A, Argentina plays against Colombia, and later, Paraguay confronts Bolivia. Argentina, Colombia, Paraguay, Bolivia. Tomorrow, only on beIN Sport.
The referee with a smile on his face. Will we see that in 45 more minutes? The Bolivian doing a bit better than the youngsters out of Bolivia yesterday against Colombia, and arguably better than Brazil, although it is the three-time defending champions who have the lead as the second half gets underway. Brazil now swinging around from right to left, and the Vino Tinto defending the goal towards the left. No change for Venezuela. Contreras in goal. Peraza a little fortunate to get that away, along with Angel in the back line. Duran on the right, Cifontes with a yellow on the left. Garces and Guerra backing up Castillo and Zambrano, with Martinez and Romo up front. It is Marcos Junior who is checking in, and a bit of a surprise in the fact it's Ajmilson who's exiting. Rather than take out one of the holding midfielders, takes out a forward for a wing. A bit more space for Bruno Mendes. And also maybe a sign of respect for Venezuela's ability on the counter. Here, arguably the best player in the first half, Renzo Zambrano. Launching it in, edge of the 6, and forcing a clearance across for the corner by Mendes. Good ball.
Just a little short. He's got two players streaking in right behind Mendes. Had he not been able to get that away, as the equaliser. Beautiful ball, nearly from Zambrano.
Bill Shane, Ray Hudson with you. Glad you could continue with our coverage of the South American under-20s. Smashed off to the near side. Brazil and Venezuela. The throw.
Nicely.
Launching it in again, Zambrano. Trying to step in front, Castillo, but slammed up field. That's what Brazil has been reduced to. Luis Gustavo, Julião, Luan, Doria, and Mansour. The goalkeeper and his back line from right to left. Misael and Lucas Candido in the anchoring midfield spots with Anderson, Alcantara, and now Marcos Junior. Bruno Mendes, the lone front runner, switching more to a 4-2-3-1. Guerra in against Julião. The youngster out of Fluminense has done well deputizing for Wallace. Bruno Mendes to the middle. Again, Angel and Peraza combine. Terán. Romo, they haven't gotten the best out of him. He's done well in the air today. Maybe a chance to get an equalizer. This a stomp on Mendez's thigh, apparently.
Just stepped on him. I don't think it's an intentional stomp. Gets it in that real fleshy area, the inner thigh, so he'll feel it all right. The cleat's coming in, but right here you'll see it. There you go. Accidentally stepped on him.
In this Group B, to start the day, Uruguay, who have played 3 matches at 5 points. Peru, who will play their third a bit later with 4. Venezuela at 3 points. That's where the line would be. 2 groups of 5. Top 3 will advance to the round of 6 final, with the top 4 teams then moving on to the World Youth Championship in Turkey. Ecuador and Brazil both on the outside looking in, but if Ecuador upends Peru, they're in good shape. And if Venezuela is able to come back against Brazil, the defending champions could be eliminated tonight. Ball off for Mendes. Looks wide for Mansour. Did not have success crossing the ball in the first half. Maybe here in the second, but
on ball.
Ball just glancing off. Rafael provided a spark in the last game against Uruguay off the bench. Not so much here in the starting lineup. Again for Brazil. They'll face Peru in the 5th and final round of this group play. Venezuela will take on group leaders Uruguay. Well, Ecuador realizes it's do or die today. They take on Peru after this match. A little clip at the heels by Marcos Junior. Guerra, who's been a warrior. 19-year-old out of Yaracuyanos. Ray, for Venezuela, nice through ball looking for Martinez. As Castillo gets the shot away and just screams it wide.
Makes a lovely yard of space for himself, driving on to Mansour. Wonderful from young Martinez. Holds, hesitates, jinks one way, and then absolutely flamethrowers this. That's a peach of a pass. Wonderful playing through from Terán to find Martinez.
You can see why he's already been capped 5 times by Cesar Farias, and why Young Boys keeping a close eye on this Venezuelan youngster. Was just about to mention for this under-20 championship, so many of the scouts from Europe and the big clubs in South America, they're taking a look at the big names like Edmilson, Felipe Anderson, Bruno Mendes. A lot of times it's other guys like Borja from Colombia or Martinez from Venezuela. Zambrano today, as you pointed out, still from Monagas in Venezuela. Some of these other players were getting their chance in the limelight. Jose Romo, another one out of Llaneros. Vitoria-based keeper has done well. A couple of bobbles in the last game that cost. Keep an eye, Romo with the height, as is Angel, going to the back post, but sent right back to sender. A little slip, and now it's Brazil on the break. Felipe Anderson goes around, but look at Zambrano come back. The speed to keep up with the Santos youngster. Smart play by Martinez.
Well, this Venezuela side went into their locker room with their chins decidedly on their chest, but they came out here like true men in the second half. They picked themselves up and dusted themselves off, and they got themselves back in this game. Not quite on the score sheet yet, but the character department have shown up nicely.
Well, if this score holds, Ray, Brazil, at least at the midway point today, would jump over Venezuela. They would both have, or Brazil would have 4 points, Venezuela with 3, Ecuador with 2. And then again, knowing there's still a match to go, Brazil can't count on that ticket to the next round just yet. Brazil also would be at 4 points even. Peru currently, after just 2 games, is 4 points plus 1. So when they go into that last game, Peru would get the edge if they drew. He's looked a lot more impressive in the blue and red. Nodded down, another chance. Castillo, quick early chip, but Doria soars. Castillo wins it again. Now Doria on his horse and gets it into touch. The 18-year-old Castillo in a support role today has done well. Teran knocked down by Mendez. Still some talent on the bench for this Venezuelan side. It's Brazil that's had to go to the substitutes bench first. Again, Zambrano. Romo hoping, launching it long, maybe trying to catch the keeper out, or just a bad hit.
Oh, it's just a bad hit, Phil. It's an awful distance for him to play with that sort of technique. Just gets that one decidedly wrong. One of the rare passes that went astray from his feet all game long.
Throw in near side. Teran. In fact, the whole back line and the goalkeeper have started all 3 games. A lunge inside. Mansour in a collision. Romo appears to have been stepped on.
Well, there's nothing intentional either way. The two players just coming together, reaching out for a free ball. They both get a little bit of the afters, but again, good defending by Mansour that time, just stepping across the danger man.
Juan Pablo Añor, the youngster based at Malaga, on the bench. Manuel Arteaga, another player at Parma, also available. And Darwin Machis, the Granada-based striker, all available for Venezuela. And they need a goal. Just over a half hour to get it. Strong challenge still in play. Good tackle, Teran. Kept alive, Rafael, but then straight back to Zambrano. Brazil starting to tighten up a bit in the offensive side. Played back by Junior to Rafinha. Misael wide for Julio.
They continue to try to pass and pick their way through this Venezuelan side, Phil. They're still looking for that X factor in the Brazil lineup, that imagination that we always see. Every edition of a Brazilian national team at basically whatever youth level you want to call it, there's always that wonderful verve and that extra dimension, and for me that's been the saddest thing lacking in Brazil. I don't see it coming out as we watch these games go on. There doesn't seem to be the players out there that can produce that. And we've seen these now 3 times, Phil, and as I said, for the Brazilian fans tuning in, they'll be sitting on their hands. And
I have a feeling the Brazilian fans tuning in are probably saying worse things.
yeah, I would be too.
Romo saw that one carry. Did it ever enter? Nope, they'll have to take it again. Teran. Romo. Settling Martinez. Romo. Castillo, one-on-one. And they've drawn Luan out. Castillo, the cross inside, near post, and almost tucked home. Good play all around, but nothing to show for it.
Got nowhere to go, and somehow he creates something out of absolutely nothing. And that one is nearly tucked away on the near post. Beautiful from Edson Castillo. A real bright light. Martinez just cannot kiss it home. Past Gustavo in the near post.
Substitution. But Fernandez coming in for Castillo. Fernandez substituted in the last game. 18-year-old out of Anzoátegui. Long switch. Cifuentes heading over on defense. Julião getting some help. Marcos Junior. Misael. Now Rafinha. Ray, for Rafinha, you got to feel a little, because when he's at Barcelona, he turns around in a play like that. He's got Xavi or Iniesta or Messi in front of him. And this Brazilian side, not quite. Played square, deflected away. Junior trying to get there, does. Junior lifting it over Mendes, deflected just enough. Felipe Anderson to the goal line, square for Mendes. And a good step in by Peraza.
Turn.
Trying to cut into the box, gets around another defender, takes it himself, kick save Contreras, and maybe just saving Venezuela. Beautiful from Rafinha.
The most impressive bit of Brazilian skill that we're so accustomed to seeing. This time he ghosts in beautifully. Rafinha, dancing feet, wonderful control. Didn't have anybody to pull it back to, Phil.
From the corner, launched inside. What a weak effort, cleared away easily by Romo, and then a foul as Brazil forced. Martinez would have been off to the races. Quick restart, but they are going to bring it back.
He gets the knee right in the bottom of his back here. Take a look, a point really into his backside, just above his backside. It's painful. Go Julio, just kind of put the brakes on in time. Accidental at the pointy end of it, right in that lower lumbar area.
He might be able to continue today, but he'll feel it tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the way, substitute that just came on for Venezuela, Robert Hernandez.
There's that wonderful piece of shimmering skill. Wonderful by Rafinha, and goes for the goal, and the goalkeeper leaves his legs there, and Contreras denies somehow. Maybe looks smiling down on him a little bit there, but intentionally leaving his legs at the bottom and cutting off the pass that he thought was going to be played, and Rafinha cannot lift it up.
Robert Hernandez, the youngster, just helped Anzoátegui win the Apertura tournament in Venezuela with the championship winning goal. Can he follow that up here? Beautiful hold by Romo.
Beautiful turn.
Raúl Orozco twice now has not let Venezuela take the quick restart. Romo is the 19-year-old. With Lucas Candido, the Minero midfielder, left in his wake. He's saying should have played advantage.
Better position for him this time. Can drop this ball. The rehearsals have been delivered beautifully all night long, except that last one. He's got the wind to deal with. That's probably cause for that last one, carrying so far out of bounds. Now there's a change here.
Get you up to date in a moment. Driven
Martinez fancying his chances with that strike at goal.
Off the head of Mendes, who then gives chase and then strips it away. Martinez in a foot race. Bruno Mendes pulling away. The Botafogo man to the middle, but behind Julio, and now the other way. Ball pops up on Zambrano. The flag coming up, and that might be worth another look. Wilmer Navarro.
Wow.
Actually, Wilson Orellano, the Bolivian linesman, on the near side.
I'm surprised at that one. Let's see in replay if we can spot it. It looked as if he was certainly on in live time. Looked like a beautiful ball.
Ball will carry right at the edge of the 18-yard box. No pressure on Contreras. Good look at Romo. Actually went to Italy, Genoa, giving him a look-see last year. Maybe even more this time around. Good chance on the turn. Hernandez. Hernandez denied by, it was Candido coming back on defense, and he paid the price. Not Doria, but the midfielder back in time. Terán. Still in. Back by Candido, and Venezuela will get a corner. 25 minutes for an equalizer. Still alive if they lose, but they'll need some help. Again, Zambrano. He's open, headed back to the middle, but straight to the keeper. No problem for Luis Gustavo. Edwin Peraza.
Peraza not able to get enough punch on his header. Again, poor defending by Brazil, leaving the big defender foot loose and fancy free at the back post.
Good pressure in the midfield from Garces. Brazil holding on, though, getting a bit stronger here. Misael. Julio switching to the left flank. Now heading back. Patience from Venezuela. Chance for Tehran, but then almost dispossessed. Again, Candido in on the turn. Romo draws Doria, plays it square, and Luan scrambles.
Beautiful ball into Romo. The pass was absolutely fabulous to find the young Laneros man. And the turn to find him inside was very close, but cut out by the Brazilian last ditch. Sliding tackle away. Good pressure by Venezuela.
Romo making the run, launched long. Luis Gustavo out and handles it well. Venezuela starting to push forward a bit. That could open a few avenues. Candido. Junio. Junio might want to rethink that. Almost headed straight for the exit. Midway through the second half. Garces checking back Martinez. Tehran looking to try and get the ball, but a foul called against Mansour. Just to the edge of the area. Another takedown. Tehran goes down. Mansour already has a yellow in this tournament. If he gets another one, he'll miss that final game against Peru.
This breeze really picking up now. You can see the ball getting shifted by it. It's becoming stiffer and tough here for Zambrano. His usual skill being affected by that wind.
And that could also create a few interesting curves. See if it causes any problems for Brazil. Zambrano takes a touch off, but the header just over from Martinez. Made his debut for Venezuela against El Salvador in Washington. Goal there might have helped him get back. "20 minutes remain. A lot of Argentinians showing up.
This isn't just the breeze, it's becoming real strong, stiff gusts down the field. Still beautiful football from Venezuela.
Almost stolen away, but Luan pulls it out of the fire. Candido. Felipe Anderson out for a Brazil throw. Brazil ready to make a change. Switch to the far side.
Great ball.
Line forward. Julião rolls it back post, but an easy stop by Contreras. Interesting, taking out Felipe Anderson. It's Fred, who was started in this tournament before, playing in all 3 matches. 19-year-old out of Inter Porto Alegre. Poor clearance. Venezuela throwing bodies at the ball. Fred with an early touch, and it will be Venezuela ball. born in Belo Horizonte, but from Mineiro to Inter a couple of seasons ago. This one against Venezuela. Some welcome showers
Nothing
expected
there from Romo. Just kicks it away. He's got a right to be aggravated by referee decision. It's gone against him. Didn't do anything wrong.
Interesting how this field holds up. You can see that front coming through, and we might have a mud bath for the second match with Peru against Ecuador. Terán trying to find the spot. Hernandez looking to get open.
Another example, Phil, this Brazilian team, even with the lead, the confidence, it's not coming out in their footballing ability, is it? You see Venezuela much stronger and committed in finding this equalizer.
Terán. Guerra just had to poke at it, but falls for Hernandez. Could have been a hand, but play on. Mendes couldn't stretch for that. Smart play. Rafinha throw in Brazil, but again having to kill the game a bit rather than take it over. Sliding over Peraza, couldn't keep it in play. Time starting to run out on Venezuela. 17 minutes remain. And if Brazil wins, Uruguay might not be clinched. Chance for Mendes, which means Uruguay will have to put a good effort out in the final match against Venezuela. Trying to sneak it through, but off target. Mansour, the left back. That's not going to bring back any memories of Roberto Carlos. 75th minute approaches. You hear Avila and the Brazilian bench screaming instructions. You almost wonder whether that's part of the problem. If some of these kids maybe a bit overcoached. Good settle. Romo keeps it going. Hernandez. Hernandez deflected away. Throw in Venezuela. On the turn. And Swatigui man inside. Chance at the top of the 18. Looking for help, but couldn't get the pass off. Now Brazil on the break. Marcos Junior. You're going to hear screaming for the pass to Fred. Overlap is on. Fred to the goal line. Drops it back. Marcos Junior. But it's deflected out for the corner kick. Edwin Peraza saving the day.
Wonderful tackle here from the Venezuelan. Good football. Fred cuts in, pulls it back, and the shot is dynamated. And Peraza comes sliding across. He gets support as well here.
From the corner.
It's Guerra as well, along with Peraza, Phil. It was human roadblocks for Venezuela. Good job defensively.
In swinger towards Contreras, but sails over everyone. Ray, you can say there's no Neymar, Lucas, Oscar, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. You could have put all of those guys on top of each other's shoulders. They wouldn't have reached that cross. Bounces down Martinez. Wide for Zambrano. Veteran of the under-17 wars, looking for a foul as he saw it slip away. Good cover by Brazil. Now Rafinha.
Good play.
Gets a second effort. Mansour. Joeliton Lima. Mansour. Off to Marcos Junior. Fred. Bit more composure now from Brazil. Misael. Rafinha. Mansour patiently eating up the ground. Down in a heap is Wilker Angel. Gets up quickly as he was fouled.
Yeah. Takes a back heel in a sensitive area. He still does well to concentrate, Wilker.
Out comes Guerra. Garces will have a lot of room to cover. Añor checking in. Talented attacker as they throw caution to the winds a bit. Juan Pablo Añor, the 18-year-old over at Malaga in their reserve team. Mansour flying past. This is pretty much a 4-1-5 right now from Venezuela. Ball carries, they'll get a throw in. Into the corner on the turn and cleared away.
Around about 15 minutes now for this Venezuelan side to see if they can get that final penetration through on this shaky back line of Brazil. They've been indicating, Phil, in their liveliness, but they cannot get through and take a good look at Gustavo's net. They haven't had that clear opportunity for all of the energy and the good passing movement, the good width that they've had both on the left and the right. Venezuela still unable to have one clear look at the goal to get a good pot shot off and draw this game level. Again, this is all lively and they're all in support of each other, but it just hasn't broke for them in front of goal.
Okay, maybe getting back, and they just couldn't get out of the way. Approaching the 80th minute. Oh, carries to the far side. Good play, looking to lift it up. Soft poke for Julião. Flag comes up as he was tripped.
Just gets there ahead of time of the challenge by Zambrano. He's very close. Just nicks it past young Zambrano right there, and Zambrano's reaching in for the ball and it's gone. Probably a good call by the ref.
Red.
Hey.
Trick play, drives it in. Good cover on the defense. And then clattered into as they try and clear. Brazil might have won it back, but Teran was decked by Rafinha. Matias screaming out at Edwin Peraza, the center back. Might be time to throw a bit of caution to the winds, which has actually died down just a touch.
I'm not so sure about that.
Don't see things flapping around as much. Maybe that's because they've all blown away. Oh, there we go. Good step in Garces.
Touch.
Leaves it Zambrano. Tries to switch. And Mansour there, but not far enough. Teran. Hernandez. Tricky little winger driving in. And he'll win a corner. Sneaky.
Talented. Outswinger for the big boys.
Near post, glancing header only to the spot. And they couldn't find the trigger. Hernandez.
Substitute comes in and it won't settle for him. Bounces right into his path. He's there first, but it pops up and just won't drop for him to blast home. But he gets the deflection. Second bait. In swinger this time.
Again, Zambrano. Relentless from Venezuela. Tried to sneak it in. Misael pulls it out. It will hold for Hernandez.
Nicely.
Cuts to the inside, almost beats two. And then he knocks it out for the goal kick. Marcos Matias, Cesar Farias' assistant, putting together a good side. But are they good enough? Maybe something extra needed here. Luis Gustavo driving it long. Giving it right back. Move up a few yards, try it again. And again. Less than 7 minutes remain in regulation. One more substitute.
The majority of this game in the second half being played almost entirely in Brazil's half. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but it's certainly the big majority of it, Phil. But Venezuela just don't have that big outlet either inside of the box, do they?
Romo, but he tends to actually play outside of it.
Yep.
Even with his 6'4" frame. Referee with a beautiful tackle, American football style. Unintentional. Launched long as Brazil tries to take advantage. Sliding over Peraza. Remember, there's no Cifuentes. Flag comes up and he'll be whistled for the foul. Cifuentes sacrificed to try and get more attack. And it leads to a Brazilian free kick. Manuel Arteaga, by the way, the Parma-based 18-year-old for Venezuela. Already with a cap. By the way, you saw the assistant on the far side, the Colombian Navarro, did not seem to lift his flag until there was a scream from the bench.
I don't think there was much of a foul there. I think that both of them, it was 6-1.
Will it cost? Rafael sneaks it to the corner of the six. Only as far as Fred. Back post slapped, and the rebound kicked home. Doria, but no, they're going to wipe it off. Offside the call against the big man from both the Fogo, and Venezuela still alive.
It's a good strike from Fred. Ball pops to him. It's a beautiful crackerjack hit, and the goalkeeper Contreras does well enough to get to it.
Headed away. You can see almost 6 forwards now for Venezuela. Romo knocked down. The last forward, by the way, Juan Pablo Añor.
See this ball come out to Fred. The first touch is beautiful, wonderful hit. I don't see anything wrong here. The ball gets stepped back. He comes in from an onside position. There's no way that should be called, Phil.
Well, either that or Navarro just had the makeup call of all makeup calls. Maybe second thoughts on that foul. Regardless, Brazil just had a legitimate goal waved off.
Doria there, you sweep it home. It means nothing. Bad decision, it seems.
Good settle. Poke
Nicely.
free. Now a chance.
Good play.
Romo lays it back.
Unlucky.
Añor couldn't keep his feet. If the name sounds familiar, his dad, a longtime player for Venezuela. His brother plays for the Columbus Crew, Bernardo, both of the same name. Of course, the Crew getting set for the start of a new MLS season. Wonder whether Juan Pablo might eventually join him. Rafael taking his time. He was going to head off the other direction. Doesn't matter. He'll do it with a card. Mateus Bebeto Jr. He of that cradling celebration, trying to get Brazil one step closer to the next round. Final sub.
Turn.
Open on the near side. You can hear him screaming, get it to Mateus. Talented teenager. Although frustrated in the last game, might be one of the reasons he sat.
Square ball took him well away from where he wanted. He wanted more of a direct target. As used as a wall pass so he could have a shot at goal. But he heard the calls, as you said, Phil, and followed the wrong route.
Marcos Jr., who, along with Fred, has provided a bit of a spark, but still nowhere near Jogo Bonito.
Nicely.
On the turn, but a weak effort. Almost falls for Mateus. Remember, he did set up that own goal. Well, they'll take a fluke.
Good ball.
Mateus settles, tries to drop for Mendez, stolen away. Zambrano in midair, sliced to the turf. That's a foul and might be a card. Julião retreats.
He should definitely get a card for this.
He'd hurled him and cleared.
Wins it easily, and he gets absolutely bladed through.
Well, Wallace will be back regardless, but Julião paying the price there. Garces again. Sounds strange to say, Ray, but their performance against Bolivia, even a good game and a loss against Peru. And they're on the losing end here, but I'd say Venezuela's probably done more to this point to deserve advancement than Brazil.
Nicely. Good ball.
Into the middle. Driven by Añor, but right into the arms of Gustavo. The chance to be the hero.
Side foots it instead of really stepping through it. Doesn't trust his left quite enough. That's his good foot. There's a creator, and that was a creator shot at goal. A beautiful build-up from Venezuela, deep in their own half. 6 passes, finding the target. Needed bravery with the hit.
Romo backing up, trying to get the header. Poorly cleared. Another chance headed down by Martinez. Wide to the far side, Arteaga. Can't commit a foul. That's more time off the clock. The scramble surrendered, but then given right back. With a miscommunication. Remember, they've taken out Cifuentes, only 3 in the back.
That wind holding the ball up again, playing tricks. This
Dangerous.
is going to hold.
Contreras with his feet. Mendez just gassed. Telling Bruno Mendez get back on side as they have to wait to send the ball forward. Again, attacking that vacant left back spot. Red will take it to the corner and try and kill some clock. Still in play. Mateus glancing header, but no from Mendez.
As I said earlier, lovely run. Give, go, get everywhere. Nice movement off the ball. Lovely pass back in. And there's that creator shot, as I called it, from Añor. This one's never going to hit the target, but that was a great opportunity carved out for Venezuela. Again, you've got to gamble sometimes and hope that you catch it on the rise, Phil. But Añor's shot was just a little too safe.
Still no signal as to how much time to be added. Would guess a couple more minutes. 2 more than Brazil would like. Driven in. Hernandez, another chance. Poked free. Garces wanted it. Maybe should have gotten it. Marcos Jr. Again, remember, this is Brazil just clearing the zone. Beautiful Zambrano. Even in a losing effort, up for man of the match.
Nicely.
Anyor with head people in front. Beautiful step up by Doria. Just stepped on the ball and stopped it in its tracks. Doria still. Now a foot race, upended. Play on though, as Angel comes across. Center back getting no love. Final minute, most likely. High boot, free kick Venezuela. In and straight into the arms of Gustavo. Still a little maturing for this Venezuela squad, but you wonder how will they play against Uruguay, because that's looking like a must-win. Now the foul against Venezuela. Angel over Mendes. Well, Brazil has set the stage where a draw against Peru in the finale might be good enough for both. A long 10 yards. And Misael will eat as much time as he can. Chips Mateus, and that will do it. Brazil gets the job done on a Felipe Anderson penalty on a harsh call at the back post. Not undeserved, but still Venezuela a bit hard done by.
Well, for me, Venezuela, and it's arguable, but I would put them as a better footballing team than Brazil here tonight. They were outdone by their own shenanigans inside the box. A bad pulling of the shirt by Cifuentes on Candido, and that resulted in Anderson triggering home the penalty kick for a cruel loss to Venezuela. But Brazil will take it any way they can right now.
The Copa del Rey quarterfinals are on beIN Sport. Atletico de Madrid have set their eyes on the cup. But they must first overcome their challenger, Betis, who have proven to be a worthy opponent. Atletico de Madrid, Betis, tomorrow, only on beIN Sport. He started playing at a very young age in the streets and became a star.
For your first Test 100 to be the world record score is quite remarkable.
And after 2 decades and breaking every record in the book, Sir Garfield Sobers set a new standard for every cricketer afterwards.
He was an extraordinary player. So much poise, so much balance, and of course placement.
Sir Garfield Sobers on